Welcome everybody, because we have filled the place out today. But the show will go on, as Queen once famously said, and you guys are going to get, yeah, you're going to get half an hour of coaching kicking action. So my name is Becky Ray. I'm here to tell you that a high performance culture is in fact as easy as a piece of cake. But let me explain. Hello, hope you've had a great day. Take the time to just decompress from your day, sit back and enjoy a half an hour full of food and cake analogies. My name is Becky Ray, and I want to talk to you today about high performance cultures. But what do I know about culture? Well, I have been around a little bit. I know I don't look old enough, but I started my career as an engineer. I used to wear overalls and rigger boots and drive not a white van, I had a silver van, slightly more upmarket. I had a silver van and I drove around from site to site and I used to fix forklift trucks and big earth moving equipment. So it means I've spent some time on the tools with the frontline workforce. So I understand and have a lot of empathy for our frontline workers because I've been there, got the t-shirt, got my hands dirty. And I've soaked up a lot about culture and leadership and how we can better set people up for more success. I then moved into health and safety leadership and worked across a wide range of high risk domains such as rail, infrastructure, military aviation, manufacturing, construction. Being part of the operational teams, kind of trying to get stuff done from an operational point of view, but do that with safety and people in mind at the heart of it. And again, soaked up a load of cultures, high risk, fast paced, dynamic operational environments. So I feel like I know a lot about culture. I now, 5 years in to my own consultancy, where I help individuals, leaders, teams, and businesses create high performance cultures. So I want you to think about the current culture, current workplace culture of where you work now or clients that you support. If you had to describe it in a few words, maybe I just gave you 3 words, what would those words be? Don't overthink it, just whatever comes to you really quickly. Are those words positive and motivating and empowering and uplifting? Are those words kind of mediocre and mundane and oh, they're just okay? Or are those words really negative? And I know the word toxic gets associated with culture a lot. Wherever you are on that spectrum, if they're great, then good for you. I'm really pleased because having a great workplace culture makes such a difference to individuals, teams, and the wider business performance. But I think wherever you are, whatever words you chose to describe your current culture, I bet they could be a little bit better. And I know high performance is what we're striving for, and we all want to get there because why wouldn't we? The most kind of tangible way, the most realistic way of getting there is if we all choose to be a bit better than we were yesterday, or the last project, or last year. And as individuals, we choose to be better and to learn and evolve and adapt because then collectively our teams will be better. Because if we take on this mindset of being better, it's because better people become better leaders that build better cultures. Now it's all connected, and actually it does start with you. Your actions, what you say, what you don't say, what you do, how you respond to people in your business, in your teams does really matter. And I want you to take ownership for that and to choose to be better when you get back to work after this cool conference. But let's get back to that cake, shall we? So I put together a framework from all my experience in industry, and I thought a framework was a bit boring, a bit corporate. So I basically smushed these 5 layers into a beautiful rainbow layer cake. And I often bring a cake, but would you believe it? I lost the cake on the train. I say lost, I left it on the train, but I've normally got a cake. And the reason I chose a cake is because it was quite difficult to carry a lasagna around to all my speaking engagements. But there's often cake. So Let me bring to life then this cake. So there are 5 layers that I believe that you need to bring to life inside your business to get to this high performance culture we're all aspiring to get to. Now, the first one is make it easy. Regardless of what you do, whether you make pies, whether you deliver some kind of service, we have to make it easy for people to show up and do that job. I'm not saying the work you do is not complex or complicated, but as a business, we need to make it easy for your experts to come in and do what they do best. That's great for people and it's great for business. We also want to create a speak up culture. There's no point hiring amazing human beings with brains and innovation and ideas if we don't allow them to contribute that and bring that to the table. So this idea of psychologically safe environment where I can share ideas, suggestions, concerns, and frustrations so that we can make it easy to get work done. The third one, which is the green layer, and it's my favorite one, is frustrations into focus. If I'm frustrated at work, I cannot and will not do my best work. Frustration is a heavy and contagious emotion. And if I'm frustrated, I'm going to spread it onto anyone who'll listen to me in the form of moans and grumbles. But it's because there's something in my way stopping me doing a great job. And that's what I came here to do. So as leaders, we have to put a focus onto those frustrations and either remove it, reduce it, or reframe it. Because if you've got people in your business that are frustrated, we have to do something about it. The yellow layer is about learning from failure. I know failure sucks. You don't want to fail. Of course you don't. It's inconvenient. It costs money and time and effort, but it's inevitable that your business will fail at some point. But let's see that as an opportunity to learn and get better and grow. And then the final layer is all about everyday learning. And I don't mean send everyone on a training course every day because that's not realistic. I mean, there is stuff to be learnt from every single job, every single task, every single shift you do. If you take the time to pause and reflect and go, what went well and what didn't go so well, so I can move that into tomorrow's work to next week's work. So these are the 5 layers of the culture cake. It's a mouthful, but it's the culture cake that I believe that we can bring to life inside our businesses, inside our teams to get to a high performing culture. But remember, at the moment, we're just trying to be better. Let's be better at making it easy to get work done. Let's be better at creating a speak up culture. Let's be better at turning frustrations into focus. Let's be better at learning from failure, and let's be better at learning from normal, everyday, and successful work. So for each one of these layers, I want to bring to you 2 ideas, and these are ideas to operate by to be better that you can pick up and take away with you today and share with your teams to hopefully get you on that journey to a high performing culture. So they are. So under the layer, the yummy layer, of make it easy, I want you to consider, are you actually setting people up for success or are you just trying not to fail? Because there's a difference there. Are you asking yourself in the morning before you start your day job, whatever you've got on your list to do today, are you setting yourself up for success? Have you got what you need to have a really good day? What does that look and feel like for you? And if you set other people to work, are you giving your teams what they need to go out and have a successful day? Or are we just assuming everybody's got what they need and we're hoping for the best? So, for example, if I was today, my job was to bake a cake, of course it's cake related. What would I need to have a successful day baking a cake? I need some information. I want to know what cake it is, what's the recipe, what's the flavour, who am I making it for, who's the client, when do they want it, and are they picking it up or am I delivering it? I need all that information before I start baking. I need the ingredients. How much ingredients? Where am I getting them from? Who's buying them? Is someone delivering them? Where am I going to get the parts, the ingredients to make this cake? I need the equipment to physically make it and to bake it. I need the training and the competence and the skills to deliver this cake successfully. And often we set people to do jobs that we've not considered if they've got the right level of skill to do. I need the autonomy. I need you to leave me alone so I can bake this cake. I'm the expert at baking cakes, so give me the autonomy to do that. But the caveat is I also need the support. If something goes wrong or if something's not quite right, I need the support of a leader to come and help me. So I want you to think about your day and the teams you set to work with that same analogy. Are we giving them what they need when they need it to deliver safe and successful work? And a question to ask your teams is, have you got everything you need to have an amazing day today? And just see what comes out. The second one is we need to make it easy to do the right thing and hard to do the wrong thing. Now you get to decide what the right thing is for your business and whatever you're delivering. But I imagine it's nobody gets hurt, nothing gets damaged. We deliver what we said we were going to deliver to our clients on time, in budget. So if that's what you want your teams to do, are you making it easy for them to do that? And if the wrong thing is the opposite of that, is it really hard to do that or not? Speak up. This notion that I feel safe to put my hand up, to ask a question, to raise a concern is a culture that we need to create. And we create that with every interaction that we have inside our business. And we can lose it really quickly, a lot like trust. So we need to listen to understand rather than listen to respond. And that is really hard in today's society when everybody needs everything now and it's quick, 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 juggle, juggle, juggle. We're multitasking, we're doing a lot of things. And I imagine there'll be a number of people in your business that come to you. I need this question answered, I need a decision made on that, I need that. And we don't take the time to really listen to understand their perspective and what they actually need. We often formulate a response in our head quickly because we're really good at what we do just to respond. So then that's done. We send that person on their way and we move on to the next thing. But we miss the opportunity for a deeper connection because we're trying to create a speak up culture where people can share their whole perspective on stuff so that we really understand. Then often our responses are a bit more thought out, a bit more sustainable because we've taken the time to do that. It's hard to do that. You have to kind of nudge yourself out of that 100 miles an hour thinking to be able to do that. And linked with that is this idea of exercising the power of the pause. I just did it. I don't know if you noticed. But actually, we can take a moment from time to time. Often we feel obliged to do everything 100 miles an hour, respond and react and do that and do that. But actually, we need to sometimes take a moment to pause and think. And it's a great way to nudge ourselves into kind of like slow, rational, logical thinking and go, oh, just give me a minute. But often we find that difficult because we find silence uncomfortable. And especially as leaders, we feel like we have to have all the answers now. But do you know what? We don't. You can pause. And that silence actually then allows the other person to give us a bit more information, which will then help us make better, more informed decisions. So don't feel you have to respond instantly in the moment when someone comes to you. Same goes for emails and text messages and phone calls. We can just take a minute and just pause and think, because often we'll respond so quickly and we miss the opportunity to have a better conversation. How many times have you picked up your phone, responded to something to get it done, and then you're like, I don't even know what I said. I don't even know what I said. I don't remember that conversation because we're just doing it. So exercise the power of the pause. It's really, really powerful. Frustrations into focus. Like I said, frustrations are a heavy emotion that you carry around with you and it gets bigger and heavier and more ugly. and we want to pass it on to whoever will listen. So it's our job as leaders to seek out those frustrations and turn them into a focus area. Every organization has got a Bob, and if your name is Bob, this is not a personal attack on you, but I have to call that person something. Every organization has got a Bob, and they're like, oh, don't talk to Bob. He's such a negative person. He's always moaning. Don't invite Bob to that meeting because he would just railroad it with his moans and grumbles. Has anyone sat down with Bob and gone, hey, Bob, you seem a little frustrated. Can I help you with anything? Because I bet Bob, there are barriers in Bob's way for him doing some awesome work, and he probably just needs somebody to listen to him. And it might be a bit of a rant. It might feel undignified for him to just let it all out. But I bet there's stuff that you can do to help turn those frustrations into a focus to either remove, reduce, or reframe those frustrations. And then guess what? Bob's not that moany guy. Bob's doing an excellent job because someone has taken the time to listen to what's frustrating him. If your team are frustrated, it's your problem and you need to do something about it. And whatever's frustrating me this week, you might be able to then fix. And then next week, next month, it might be something else because our businesses change so frequently. So it's not a fix it and done, it's an ever evolving process, which when you start to do it, naturally creates that speak up culture. Because then actually, oh, they asked me about that and then they fixed it. So now I'm going to tell them about the next thing. And once you sort people's frustrations out, it makes it easier to get work done, which is the ultimate goal we're trying to get here. The next one, and this is probably the most common thing I hear in businesses, is, well, I raised that and nothing happened. I suggested that, they said it was a great idea, and then nothing happened. In business, no news is not good news. No news builds frustration, and frustration, if left unchecked, turns into resentment, which is an even heavier, more uglier, dark emotion that you carry around, and then you just throw it on people. So close feedback loops. If your people are speaking up and raising stuff, of course you can't fix everything every time, but still tell them that was a great idea, a great suggestion. However, the business is doing this, this, and this. We might look at it at X amount of time. But you have to close the feedback loop. We can't leave people hanging on. How many people are hanging on to you in this room right now? They've raised something to you, an idea, a suggestion, or a frustration, and like weeks and months have gone by. That person, whether you know it or not, is going to be frustrated, and we have to put a focus on that. Learning from failure, like I said, every failure needs to be seen as an opportunity to learn. It is a gift. A failure is a gift to you and your business, and you can choose to unwrap it and suck out all that learning and then inject it into your next piece of work, or you can choose to blame and punish and just move past it really quickly because we've got to get stuff done. It is a gift of information and learning, but only if you choose to reframe it in that way and suck out that learning. Otherwise, you're failing for nothing and you'll continue to fail. The next one is respond in a curious and non-judgmental way. And I've chosen the word respond rather than react, because when we're reacting, it's normally emotionally fueled. We're either disappointed or frustrated or angry or upset, and then that emotion could come out in our communication for people. So exercise the power of the pause, take a breath when you hear about a failure in the business, because these emotions are going to come out. We're human beings with emotions, but put them in check, then respond in a curious, and we want to be looking for the what and the how, not the who, in a non-judgmental way. If I'm at home, I've got two little kids, and I hear a smash upstairs, I'm going to get a bit of emotion come up. I might be annoyed. I might be like, oh, is that my vase or is that this ornament? If I run upstairs with that emotion and go, what the hell happened in here? My children are not going to give me the information that I can learn from. They're not going to be open and honest. If I take a breath and pause and go, oh, I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. And carefully go upstairs and go, hey guys, what's happening here? I'm curious because I'm asking questions, but I'm non-judgmental. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. And often as leaders, we jump to judgment and conclusions, and you will get those in your head, but leave them there. We can control what comes from our head and out our mouths, and lots of people feel like they have got no control over that, but you have. Even if you jump to a judgment and conclusion in your head, keep it there and go in with a real open curiosity and non-judgment, because otherwise you're going to shut down all that speak up culture that you spent ages trying to build. And then the final layer is everyday learning. We can wait for the next failure to learn, or we can learn now from normal, everyday, successful work. Because I bet most days are successful. I bet most days you get done what you need to get done, deliver it to your clients on time, under budget. There's stuff to be learned from that. And it starts with spending time where the work gets done. However senior you are in the business, whatever your business does, you need to spend time where the work gets done with the people that do it. And I get that you've got a busy to-do list and a load of meetings you've got to go to, but do you remember that TV show, Undercover Boss? I don't know if it's still on. It was big in America and Canada. The premise of that show was the CEO, one of the senior execs, would put like a disguise on, a wig and a dodgy shirt and a ponytail or something, and then spend time in the workplace with the people that work there, because they were like, I need to know what's happening in my business from the people that work there in the place where the work gets done. And they would get so many great insights into what's working, what's not. And the people that work there, they've got the knowledge to solve any problem that your business is going to face now or in the future, but it's often trapped in your workforce. One, because you don't spend time with them, and two, because we haven't created that speak up culture. I'm not suggesting you have a ponytail and put a like false teeth in, and I'm saying go out there now as you, as senior leaders, and spend time. And maybe the first few times you do it, it's a bit awkward, and they're like, oh, the boss is here again. Let's tidy up and paint everything and roll out the red carpet. But soon that'll dissipate. They'll realize that you are a human being too, and you care deeply about them and the people and the work you do. And you'll get to know what's frustrating them. You'll get to create that speak up culture because you're there person to person. You're breaking down those hierarchical barriers. It's not good enough to say I've got an open door policy, come to my really plush office in your dirty boots, because you can't, can you? You need to go to them. And I really wish more leaders would do this, because they'd really understand the essence of their business if they did. It's never time not well invested. And then the second one, and the last one of this is celebrate success. Now, I'm sure you do celebrate success when you have a big project that goes really well, you deliver something that goes really well, you celebrate in whatever way feels good for your business. But there'll be successes that happen on a micro level, on a task level, on a team level, on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. We also need to identify and acknowledge those as well, not just the big ticket ones. And I don't mean we have to throw a big party and all go down the pub every single success, but we should take the time to say well done and thank you and appreciate people's contribution, because that's so good for motivation and morale. But linked with that, if you are successful, and I'm sure you are, can you articulate how and why? And if you can't, there's so much learning that's then trapped. I spent a lot of time in the construction industry, and there was one project we were working on. It was coming close to the end, and it was all going downhill. They were way off budget. They weren't going to hit the deadline. It was just going wrong. So they pulled in this new project manager. Let's call him Wonder Boy, shall we? They pulled him in. He had a great reputation for turning projects around, and he did. He pulled it off. He got the team together. This project was then delivered on time, reasonably over budget. But nobody got hurt. Nothing got smashed up. They kept the reputation as a company for delivering a project. And obviously they celebrated. And Wonder Boy got loads of credibility and standing ovation. And then you go to him, how do you do it? Don't ask me. You do not want to know how we got that project over the line. But we do. We do, because some success is kind of masked. Is, were you good or were you just lucky? And sometimes we push the boundaries so close to the edge. It's not a failure, but my God, it was so close. That's what we want to learn from too, not because we want to blame anybody, because we want to learn. So the next time a project is really successful, let's go, okay, that was successful. We want to do that again. So what can we learn from this? And I mean, really take the time to do it, to pull out the learning and the honesty, because often when projects get over the line like that, the whole team is broken. And that's not something you can continue to do. And so please celebrate your success, but only do that if you can couple it with articulating how and why it was successful, because that's the nuggets of information you want to plug into your next job so that you can be better. So that was my 5 layers of the culture cake, and we are trying to get to high performance. It is possible, but it is a long journey. What we can do today is be better. Be better at making it easy to get work done. We can be better at creating a speak up culture where people can share ideas, suggestions, innovations, as well as frustrations. Because we want to be better at turning frustrations into focus so that we can remove, reduce, or reframe. We want to be better at learning from failure, and we want to be better at learning from normal, everyday, and successful work, because there's so much learning to be had, but only if we take the time to unwrap it and understand it. So I want you to be better, and you can be. It is achievable. And when you do that, better people become better leaders, building better cultures. It is all connected, and it starts with you, what you do, what you don't do, what you say, what you don't say. We all have an impact on creating the kind of culture that we want to see and bring. So thank you. That was my cake. Cheers. So I am open to any questions. We've got 1 minute 27 left, so it's not too shabby. Hi. This gentleman's gonna hook you up.
What's your favourite cake?
Rainbow layer cake with sprinkles on top.
That's not too bad.
What's your favourite cake?
I'm stuck between cheesecake and red velvet cake, but
Ooh.
luckily, there is a red velvet cheesecake that exists.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
But on that real sort of question, when a business's culture is so sort of far down that negative side, say it's a blame culture, a toxic culture, a culture of fear, what's a good starting point to start that journey moving in the right direction?
I'd say we need to understand the tangible things that are making that culture not great. Is it core leaders that are just not demonstrating those values? Is it that there's dysfunction in teams, they're not getting on, they're not gelling together? Is it that we're not making it easy to get stuff done and there's loads of stuff that's frustrating? I would say focus on spending time with people that work there, where they do it, and ask a whole bunch of questions. And the first one I start with, what is frustrating about working here? And you'll get a long, long list, but what can you pick up and change and fix tomorrow, and then start on that journey by going, we want to change this now, one little step at a time, because we want to be better. And you can definitely get out of that place and be better, but it takes conscious effort, and you have to park the day job for maybe a few hours and get people together and go, what's going on? How can we help you? Does that make sense?